How are you doing this morning?
Great, thank you very much.
Well, it is good to see you, and all the things that you have been telling us about what happened inside that tent, the vomiting, gasping for air. What was James Ray doing when all this was taking place?
James Ray was the leader, so James Ray was the gatekeeper of the door, so he actually would, he opened the door and called for the number of rocks, closed the door and started the chants. So
but his response,
he was the leader of everything that was going on.
So he didn't act alarmed that people were falling out all around, that people were vomiting, that they were, one man allegedly was so disoriented he was going for the hot coals, and he didn't have any kind of response to that?
I don't recall that he had any response to the man that was going into the rocks, because other people were trying to prevent that gentleman from doing that. But when everybody was actually throwing up or they were spitting and stuff, I mean, that was actually considered your body actually purging its toxins and getting rid of what we don't need or the bad things that were inside. So
since this time, have you
I guess he felt that was a good thing.
Since this time, have you heard from James Ray at all? We heard about a conference call of some sort?
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I've heard from James Ray is at a conference call. After the incident and after everything happened, James Ray pretty much abandoned all of us. He left us all there to figure out what was going on. There was a little bit of correspondence amongst a few of his staff members that they came in, and it wasn't until the homicide detective actually came in and filled us in on what was going on with Kirby and James and Sydney and Liz and the number of other people that were in the hospital. But James Ray he never came, after the incident, he never came back. The next morning we were given a note on the table that was written by his staff saying that James was in prayer and meditation, and to this day I've never heard from James Ray. I've never talked to James Ray.
You mentioned Kirby. You mentioned Kirby Brown, who was your roommate. I'm very sorry for your loss, that she did not survive. You said you wanted to give her CPR.
Thank you.
But you were not allowed to.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, I'm an orthodontist, and I'm trained in CPR as part of my credentials. I told the dream team about 10 times. When I was taken out of the tent, it took about 15 minutes or so for me to actually regain total mobility. I was conscious the whole entire time I was in the tent, and then when I came out, my body was a wee bit weak, but then once I was up and around, I was able to help people out, and I saw them giving CPR to James. When I actually figured out I was looking everywhere for Kirby and I couldn't find her, and then I figured out where Kirby was, and Kirby was next to James, and I saw her through the tent. I told them about 10 times, I know CPR, I know CPR. I knew the people were getting tired because they had to be doing CPR for 15 or 20 minutes. We had no medical assistance or anything, and the dream team told me, you can't go over there, you can't go over there, you can't go over there, and they just kept pulling me away and pulling me away.
I know how difficult that
going
had
over
to
there
be
to help out.
because that had to be so difficult because you know CPR, she was a friend and you wanted to help her. I don't have to tell you this. You know there are many people that are saying, Beverly, why did you all not, and others, why did you not get up and get out of that tent? Why did you stay in that tent for so long?
We stayed in there for many, many different reasons. You understand that we had been actually under the leadership of James Ray for 4 days or 5 days. We trusted him. We trusted in what he was teaching us. We also believe that, you know, this has been done for 4 or 5 years or 7 years, I'm not quite sure, that it was a safe place. And this was, quote, the pinnacle event. And so it was somewhat of a challenge. These were astronomical people that I was with. There are a lot of overachievers, highly successful people that push themselves to the nth degree. And
Again, authorities are investigating as a possible homicide, or thanks to Beverly Bunn, but right now no charges have been filed.